Let's go. Welcome back to the podcast. Ask Me Anything number 18. If you're new, I'm Coach Prez. I'm a football coach, self-proclaimed blue belt philosopher, and and that's it basically, and a free thinker. What we do on the channel is I answer questions. I answer the questions that have been given. Okay. We talk about sport, football in particular, most of the time, and also we talk about philosophy and everything else. Whatever the questions are, I answer all sorts of questions. Mostly we end up talking about philosophy. Okay. But the main thing is, the main theme of discussion is always about getting better. Whether it's in football, sport, or in general, it's all about getting better. That's all I'm about. Getting better. Okay. And having fun doing so. So what we do, I always begin the podcast with the sports questions, football first, and then we move on to everything else. If you're not interested in football or sport, you can go ahead and skip. I've got the timestamps down now. They're in the description or even, on the screen. Just skip and go ahead. But I would say that most of the time when I talk about football, is something to do with like skill acquisition or learning, which to me at least, is interesting. And there is a lot of things that I talk about that are applicable. The principles and the concepts that I talk about, although I'm applying them to football, they are applicable to basically everything. So there's still some good things there to listen to, even if you're not like a massive football fan. But the important thing to know is that I'm not just here talking about, oh yeah, this guy scored this week, that was so interesting. No. I'm all about getting better and helping other people get better. So that's basically it. I'm not going to waste any more time. We jump straight into it. Let's go. Let's see the questions. Let's see the football questions that I've got, sports questions. And we start with the age-old debate: talent or hard work and dedication. What's more important, natural talent or hard work and dedication? Okay, we're talking about sport at the minute. But my answer would be pretty much, with almost no exceptions, the same, even if we weren't talking about sport. And my answer is, let's break down what talent means. Okay, what do people mean when they say talent? Talent is like natural ability. Oh, you're born, you're just predisposed, you're better than some other people at this particular thing, just naturally, just for no reason. That's the way you're born. Okay, that as soon as you say that and as soon as you put it that way, it starts sounding a bit weird. It's got a little bit of a weird ring to it. You're just naturally better. What at sport that requires skill, you're better naturally. You were just born that way. That's dodgy already. Okay, so what is skill though? We need to understand what is skill, because people they don't understand. So what is skill? If I Google it, I'll get something very similar to this, to the definition that I know. Skill. Skill is the successful and intelligent application of technique. Meaning, intelligent application of technique means that you apply the correct technique at the right time. Okay? So you choose from a multitude of techniques and from a multitude of decisions that you can make in any particular moment in time. You can make the right choices. So that makes you skillful. Okay? You can have technique but have no skill. That makes sense. Yeah? So this is skill. So now that we know what skill is and that we know skill, decision making is involved in being skillful. So where does talent now come into the equation? Okay, so in my DNA, it was It was coded. It was in my DNA. This guy is gonna be a good football player. He's gonna know when to pass the ball, okay? How hard to hit it and all that. That doesn't make sense to me. For some people, it might make sense, but for most people, there's I would say there's two type of people that say talent, that use that expression. Oh, this guy is so talented. One is people that are lazy; they just don't want to go into the detail. Like, yeah, he's very skillful, he's very good, and they just use the word talented like a synonym. They don't put too much thought into it. The other group of people is people that are not particularly skilled in that matter. They're not very knowledgeable on the topic, so to them it seems impossible to get to that level because they've never tried, or they've never even, yeah, they've never tried. Because if you try truly, like from a young age, try and do something, you get good. It's inevitable. It's highly unlikely for you not to get very good at whatever you're trying to do. If you're consistent, then you start at a young age. That's my open brackets and close brackets. Okay. So this is mostly the two types of people that use that. All right. But what is talent actually? Talent is your physical attributes. This is what you can call talent. Okay, this is the only thing that can actually be considered talent. Why? Because more or less you don't have a you inherit this. Yeah, this is what you get from your parents. Genetics. Okay, how tall I am, that's my talent. Okay, how tall am I? How quick am I? Am I mostly, what is my muscle makeup or build? Okay, do I have like, am I more of a slow twitch guy? So I'm good at endurance based disciplines and not so good at explosive, short, anaerobic, you know, uh, exercises and, yeah, sports. If you wanna just go into sports, okay, that's basically it. Are you predominantly fast twitch or slow twitch kind of guy, or are you tall, short, fat, slim, skinny, whatever? That's basically it. That's your You've got predisposition towards those things. You can work on them and change them a little bit apart from your height, but you can kind of control your weight, and to a certain extent, you can work on explosiveness, power, stamina. Now, where your maximal potential is, this is genetic, okay? But to get to your maximum, to your limit, that's a long way to go. There is a lot of work to get there, but that's generally your talent. That's why you see some people, some kids, let's say both two 15-year-olds. One looks like a man, the other one looks like a child, like a 12-year-old. Well, that's genetics, okay? That's unfortunate, yeah. One is more developed than the other. But over time, that gap kind of disappears, okay? So it becomes very evened out. You always have these genetic freaks, like some people using both, fastest man alive ever. Genetics. I can train all my life. I can train for several lifetimes with the best coaches, best everything. I'm never gonna be as quick as him, okay? Just because of my muscles, okay? Genetics, just the way my muscles are attached to my bones, I can never be as quick as him. And obviously, my muscle makeup, my muscle fiber makeup is just not it's not a sprinter's one. I'm more of a like hybrid. I'm like 50-50. I'm not slow, I'm quick, but then I've got endurance, but I'm not like exceptionally quick. But then at the same time, I'm not like exceptionally, yeah, not durable, but I don't have exceptional stamina. But I'm very good at both. However, that doesn't matter. We're getting off topic. All right, so that's it. We just clarified that your physical attributes, this is the talent. Okay, this is what you're born with. This is literally what talent is supposed to mean. What you're born with naturally. Okay, so this is what's natural to you, your physical attributes. Okay, they matter where? They matter in sports that are heavily based on those factors. So the less ways there is to win in a certain sport, the more those natural gifts are gonna matter. In cycling, you're cycling, okay? There is no technique to cycling. I'm sure there is little bits and pieces and like strategy probably, but cycling is cycling. You're doing this. You're cycling, okay? You cannot cycle backwards, you cannot cycle sideways. You're cycling. You're pushing the pedals. That's it, okay? So this is going to be heavily dependent on your VO2 max, yeah, which is your maximal oxygen output. I think I got it right, yeah. But basically your stamina, okay? How much, yeah, it was maximal oxygen uptake. Sorry, my bad. This is the correct definition of VO2 max. Okay, so how much endurance do you have? Okay, so you're gonna have a certain genetically determined limit. Okay, once you reach that, that's it. You're done. You've reached your peak, your maximal capacity. Okay, you can train all you want. If the other guy next to you trains as much as you, but he's got a higher ceiling than you, he's gonna be better. So that's it. So this is important in cycling. Why? Because in cycling, there is no room, there is not much space left for skill. Okay? Decision making, skill, technique. Not much room for that. Sprinting, same thing. If you've got the best body type for it, given that you've got like equal circumstances as everyone else, but you've got the best body type. Your body is a perfectly designed machine for sprinting. You're gonna beat the other guys. You've got your muscle. Your muscles are made up from like 99.9% fast twitch muscle fibers. The way they're attached to the bones is perfect for sprinting. They give you maximal leverage. You know, the way you pull the bone. So the where the muscle attaches to the bone, you get maximal leverage. You've got long limbs and everything. You're gonna smash everyone else. Your body is built that way. But now we get to the other sports, which is football. What is football? In football, is everyone quick in football? No, you've got everyone from all over the spectrum. You have fast players, you have slow players, you have skinny players, you have big players, like not big, like everyone is fit to a certain extent, but you've got players that have got a bit more fat on them. You've got tall, you've got short, you've got everything. Why? Because in football, skill is the most important thing. You have to have technique. You have to have skill. So, in a sport where skill is king, let's put it that way, talent is almost irrelevant. I say almost because there are exceptions. To be elite, world level, it obviously is good to have the attributes. Is it necessary? Not really. Okay, we have many examples. The best athletes are not always the best at any sport. Okay, the best at any sport are the guys that are most skillful, and skill is developed through playing, training, and everything else. Okay, these guys, they put in the time, they put the time in. Okay, they think, they're smart. So he's smart, he's being smart talent. I don't know. This is a completely different topic, different argument. I don't want to go into it now. Okay. But that being said, when there is a lot of ways for you to win in a certain sport, meaning skill and strategy and all that is going to come into play, the more the bigger role skill and tactics have in winning in the sport, the less impact talent is going to have. Okay, so essentially my answer in short after 15 minutes of talking is that hard work and dedication are always going to beat talent. Always. There is no question, no debate. Needs to stop. I don't want to hear people saying, "Oh, Messi is natural talent. Ronaldo is hard work." That's rubbish. This is complete rubbish. Ronaldo has got so much talent. He's so, but he's extremely quick. Extremely quick. People don't really give him that. They think, oh yeah, he was like a turtle, and then all because of his hard work, he became like one of the fastest players that like around in his prime. Yeah. That's definitely no talent there. You know, that's just skill. That's just skill. He worked really hard. Before that, when he was 15, when they asked him to run 100 meters, he did it in 25 seconds. No, that's rubbish. He was absolutely rapid. Look at his early days. His feet are like they're so quick. They get blurry, but that's talent, right? Yeah, okay, mate. Same with Messi. Messi is extremely talented as well. He's ridiculously quick as well. His agility is off the charts. He's like elite. Are there players with more agility than him? Definitely, definitely. But are they Messi? No. There's only one Messi. So these debates, I don't like them. They annoy me. People that think talent exists are either lazy, uneducated, or that's it. So, nothing more for me to say on that topic. Hard work and dedication always beat talent. Always. People that don't say, people that say the opposite, they're not looking on. They're not looking long term. They're looking at very short term. When you look at long term, then you know the answer immediately. So that's that. That's my answer. Hopefully, I've killed that question now, and now we all know. Okay, all right. One more quick one in terms of on football. Blah blah blah. What do we have? How how do you deal with stay mentally tough during a losing streak or difficult times? How do you stay mentally tough during a losing streak or difficult times? Okay, dealing, staying mentally tough. Staying mentally tough. What's that about? Okay, as a person that does sports, okay, as an athlete, this is inevitably gonna happen to you at some point. Okay, tough times, losing streaks, setbacks. This is all part of sport. This is not just part of sport. This is part of life. Okay, how do you stay mentally tough? How do you stay? You want to stay in the game. You want to stay in the fight. You don't want to. You want to keep your head up. How do you do that? From my experience and from everything I've read, what you want to do is you want to clarify your goals. Okay, what are your goals? Ultimately, why are you doing what you're doing? Okay, if you're doing sports, why are you doing it? Do you want to be professional? Do you do it for the enjoyment? Why do you do it? And I don't know about other people. I cannot imagine myself doing sports and enjoying it without without having a sense of progress and improvement. I cannot enjoy sports if I don't feel like I'm improving. I don't know. Mm, Not even football. Yeah, not even football. Maybe if I just play like once in a blue moon and I just go, yeah, yeah, ha, 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 ho, ho, ho. I enjoy it with my friends, but that's it. When I'm doing sports, where I get my enjoyment from is from improving. I don't know about other people, that's me. But yeah, I know there is like a social aspect. You enjoy playing with your friends. Yeah, there is definitely something there. But why do you do what you do? Okay. If if let's say you're dealing with a losing streak, so you probably play competitively to a certain extent, yeah. And if you play competitively, then you want to win. You have some desire to win. If you have that desire, then you definitely, I'm assuming now I'm making assumptions, you have some sort of motivation to be better. You want to be, if you want to win, that means you want to be better than the other guy. You want to beat them. So you have some sort of a desire. You wanna win. Okay, so you want to get better by extension. All right. So you need to ask yourself the question again. Clarify your goals. Understanding your goals is gonna help you. Is gonna push you through difficult times. Okay. If you're not clear with, if you don't have clear intentions, then you're gonna struggle. You're like, oh, why am I doing this? Don't really know. What? But if you know what you're doing, okay, you know what? I'm in this sport. I want to see how good I can get. Let's say that's your motivation. Okay, I can relate to that as a motive. I want to see how good I can get. Don't worry about the rest. Don't worry about becoming pro, semi-pro, whatever. People praising you. I just want to see how good I can get. I'll be the judge of that. Yeah. I'm gonna watch myself and see if I'm happy. I wanna get to a place where I can watch myself and say, that was cool, man. I like that. Yeah, yeah. I wanna get to that place. Yeah. So that's my motivation. I wanna be as good as I can. And if that's my motivation, it's gonna be much easier for me to go through a rough patch. We've lost like 4 or 5 games in a row. It's not the best. Like it sucks. But am I ever been making progress during those games? Yeah. Yeah, I've made progress, then I'll be happy. If I haven't made progress, then at least I can look within myself and go, ah, what am I doing wrong? Is this wrong? Is that wrong? Then I can start looking for my own mistakes and try and fix them. That's kind of my advice. Clarify your goals. Know why you're doing what you're doing. And that's going to make everything else much easier. So, yeah, and you can push through difficult times when you know what you're fighting for. Okay. Okay. What's next? We move on now. 24 minutes and football is enough for today. Let's see what else we've got. That's almost the same. How do you stay motivated when you're not seeing immediate results from your efforts? Ooh, that's a tough question, to be honest. Okay, how do you stay motivated? I'm not seeing results. Okay, results are, that's very tough. That's really difficult. I'm working hard, but I'm not seeing results. I've talked about motivation before, you know. What I would do is I look to I look to other people, okay? I look what they're doing. And I kind of get inspired by other people, by their greatness. I'm like, wow, this guy is so cool. And then I kind of start thinking about, I start, I kind of, I look at someone successful, for example. That's just one thing. I do one of many things that you could do. Well, I've done many times, certainly. I look at someone that's successful and I try and put myself in their shoes and look back, okay? And look back and kind of imagine how much work they've had to put in to get to where they are now, behind the scenes, and how much failures and all of that, how many hardships they've had to overcome to get to where they are, you know? And this gives me a temporary push, and maybe that temporary push gives me just enough energy for me to kind of get out of the slump, okay, or to push past that rough patch, you know. Let's just read the question again. Tough times, yeah. You're not seeing immediate results from your efforts. Well, that's one thing, but I think what's gonna solve the problem is if you can get to a point where the effort that you put in is its own reward. Okay, putting in effort, when you work really hard and when you put in effort, if you get to a point where effort in itself is the reward, effort gives you a sense of fulfillment, okay, then you're gonna be unstoppable. You're gonna be unstoppable. How you get there? You have to understand that when you give 100% effort, this is time well spent. This is never going to be time wasted because you've put everything that you have, maximal effort. You've put everything that you have into whatever you're doing. And that's not time spent. That's not time wasted. That's time well spent. You'll never regret. Never, never, never regret putting in 100%. And when you know you've done that, you just have a sense of fulfillment that is that overshadows like the immediate, like momentary. Is there progress? Is there not? Just knowing I gave everything, like makes your life better. Knowing I gave everything makes, yeah, that's what it's about. I gave everything. I put in the effort. I didn't get the results I wanted this time. That's fine. At least I did everything. If I didn't do everything, I would have been questioning myself now. Did it not work because I didn't give my best, or did it not work because it wasn't supposed to work? At least you don't have that question. You're not going to be thinking about it anymore. Did my best. I did my best. I can move on, live my life, knowing that I put in the work whenever. All right. Next question. What's your perspective on the idea of living authentically in a world that often pushes conformity? So, what do I think about living authentically in today's world that basically you have to agree with people? My perspective is, you can see my perspective is what I do. So, I've got a podcast at the moment. I'm talking in front of the camera. How many people are going to be watching this? I don't know. Maybe 10 people, maybe 20, maybe 50, maybe one or 100. I don't know. Okay. If I try and put myself in my future self boots, okay, maybe looking back, let's say, for the sake of the argument, I've become very successful or famous by other people's definitions. So now everyone is coming back from 5 years from now and watching this podcast, and they're gonna be like, "Oh, we want to listen to him. He's got good things to say." So that's everyone else's perspective. But from my own point of view, if that happens or not, for me it's the same. If that makes sense. The time travel, that time jump that I just did, doesn't really make much sense when I say it out loud. But imagine, because I know people's perspective at the moment. If you think about it, let's be real here. I've got this like little podcast I'm doing. Who's watching it? Not many people. Why am I doing it then? Why am I doing this podcast? And then at the same time, I'm doing other things. Are they massively successful? Not yet. But am I still doing them? Yeah. In some people's opinion, does that make me look a bit weird or whatever? Probably yeah. Do I give a fuck? Not really. Why? Well, because I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. Whether other people can see it or not, that's got nothing to do with me. Conformity, I felt the push to. I haven't done that for a long time because I thought, I had a little bit of hesitation. It's a normal thing. It's subconscious. Subconsciously, everyone wants to be accepted. Yeah, I want people to like me. I want this. I want that. Everyone wants it. It's normal people. We're all human, even me. Probably. Although I'm probably halfway machine now. Everyone wants to be accepted, but that becomes a barrier because it's very difficult to try and do whatever you want to do, because when you try something new and something different which is not like accepted, people are going to see you as like you're weird. And because if you're worried about people thinking you're weird, you're gonna end up not doing so many things because like, what is this guy gonna say or think or whatever, and that's not ideal. You're not gonna be authentic. You're gonna be a little bit fake eventually because you were so worried about everyone else. Or if you're not fake, you're just gonna end up changing into what everyone else is. So basically, you're gonna become like everyone else. So my perspective is you have to be confident enough in yourself to do what you think you have to do, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not a fan of hippies and all these guys, all these weirdos. I'm not a fan of them. Oh, I'm me, blah, blah, blah. They're a bit over the top for me, personally. But, like, at the end of the day, they can do whatever they want to do. I certainly don't want to be like that. I'm doing what I want to do. But I have, like, my whole thing is, I might seem a bit weird doing all these things. Or why is he doing this shitty podcast? Give a fuck, to be fair. But I'm doing it with a good intention. One, I'm having fun. Two, I'm giving some valuable, positive information. Like, if some people, whenever people watch it, you can take something good from it. You can take something good from it for you. All these hippies, all these guys that smoke weed and do nothing all day and have dirty feet and whatever, but disgusting. Anyway, I don't know why I'm going in on them. Anyway, I've got nothing against them, apart from the fact that, in my opinion, they're a bit selfish. And not just them, but this is just the example that keeps popping in my mind. Maybe because I think I saw somewhere, that movie. Have you seen that movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, with Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio? They met. It's like there's a lot of hippies there. Probably that's why. Something reminded me of it and stuck in my head. But yeah, ultimately, I know I'm doing a good thing. whether people find it valuable now or not. Is it better if it's a quick success? Yes. Is it better if people like accept it, get behind it, woohoo, say yeah, well done, da da da? Yeah, it's nice. If it doesn't happen, then well, unlucky for me. At least I did what I wanted to do. I tried my best, you know. So that's it. That's my opinion. Conformity or not, just too many people want to live like a nice life of nothingness and mostly selfish. I'm not a fan of that. So don't even know if I answered that question that specifically. It's just a kind of a vague question. My opinion is definitely living authentically. Yeah, be yourself. Unless you're a hippie, then don't be yourself. Okay. A couple more. What do we have next? I've answered this one. What's the biggest lesson? What's the biggest lesson you've learned from failure? What's the biggest lesson I've learned from failure? To be completely honest, failure. That's gonna come out wrong. But failure is not really my thing. I haven't really failed at many things. When I think about it, like from the top of my head, I can't think of many things that I've failed. Most of the things that I've tried, I've been successful. I've won or whatever. I haven't really failed. I don't plan on failing anytime soon as well. I'm trying to think of a failure, something. What have I failed with? I don't know. I can't really. Nothing really comes to mind. The only thing I would say, obviously, personal answer. This is somewhat of a opinion from failure. For me personally, I tend all the minor failures, if I could call it minor failures, for the most part for me have come from being overconfident. Okay, so maybe being arrogant. Overconfidence is essentially arrogance. So that's what's has been my downfall, maybe here and there. So I should have been a little bit less confident. That's what I've learned. Okay, keep your head down a bit more, just a tiny bit. Still keep your head up though. Still be confident, you know. When you go into whatever you go into, be confident, you know. Don't go in, yeah. Be confident. Let's go for it. We go here, we go there, we smash this guy, smash that guy, smash them, yeah, beat you, I'm better than you. Oh, don't worry, mate. It just got, mate. I've said it before, I'm not supposed to use the word mate. I'm not English, so. But yeah, overconfidence a couple of times, but then at the same time, how many times has my big like has my confidence helped me? How many times? Numerous. So if let's say from 100, from a sample size of 100, 97 times I've been successful and 3 times I've failed, then my confidence is like it's done its job. My confidence is done well. Okay, 3 times I've been overconfident and failed. Well, the other 97 times I wasn't arrogant, was I? I was just justifiably confident. So that's what it is. Overconfident. But still, I've tried to adjust it. I've tried to adjust it, and I've been successful. I think maybe too successful. I used I feel like I've become more humble as I've grown older. I'm a very humble guy now. At 26, I was coming off a lot more kind of passive aggressive at 21, 22. I was, yeah, that's gone. Now I'm a bit more humble. I don't know why. Because I'm smarter probably. So yeah, that's my answer. Biggest lesson from failure. Don't be overconfident, but be confident in your preparation. Yeah. But where did my overconfidence come from? It came from lack of self-awareness. My self-awareness let me down. That's why I was overconfident, because I couldn't really see the truth. I was blinded by something. So I wasn't really self-aware. I didn't know what was happening. So this was the problem, self-awareness. So, but I've been working on my self-awareness, questioning myself constantly, constantly, constantly. So that's why everything's improved. Because I'm much more honest with myself now. I can look as close to objectively as possible and say, okay, this is that way, that is that way, and so on. Yeah, basically be real with yourself. Be honest, but honest. If you cannot be honest, get a camera, turn the camera on, make a video, and then you'll see. The video is gonna tell you the truth, whether it's sport or whether it's just whatever it is. Okay, even let's say you've got something that you think, like an opinion. Put the camera on and record yourself saying it. Put your opinion out there, and then watch it back and see how it looks. I'm doing I'm doing this at the moment, to be honest. So this is even this podcast is helping me become more self-aware. Okay, next question. What do we have here? Uh, Jesus Christ. What's the best piece of advice you've heard? The best piece of advice I've ever heard. What's the best? This is one of the most difficult questions I've ever. How am I supposed to pick one piece of advice? Best piece of advice is no days off. Essentially, no days off. That's it, no days off. Or if we kind of rephrase it, it's, now I'm changing it. It's not like this is not something that I've heard, but it's something that I've learned over time. You can still, it's similar to no days off, but it's consistency. Consistency is one of, honestly, one of the most important things in life, being consistent. Nothing else matters if you're not consistent. How many, think about it, how many things in life, okay, can you achieve if you're not consistent? What is even possible in life without consistency? I don't know, honestly. I can't find a good enough answer for that. Consistency. Everything that you build and you achieve in your life is based on consistency. If you do not have consistency, you do not get anywhere from everything. From everything, compare it, put it against everything else. Consistency just beats everything, beats everything in everywhere. So be consistent. So this is essentially like no days off. So it's every day, every day. I'm doing it every day. I'm consistent. Consistency destroys everything. Luck doesn't matter, talent doesn't matter, skill doesn't matter, background doesn't matter. If you're consistent, eventually you level the playing field, and eventually you're gonna excel. You're gonna beat everyone else. You're gonna beat them just by the sheer force of not even repetition, but just time. Time works in your favor because you're consistent. Okay, you're like the water that splashes against the shore. That was a shitty. That was a very shitty example, but you're just consistent. You do not stop. You just keep going, and over time, you'll get where you want to get. My first podcast was shit. My 15th podcast was probably shit. This is the 18th one. Probably still not good enough. But it's better than the first one. I can tell you that. If I keep going, okay, maybe someone else has started a podcast. They have much better setup and everything. If I just keep going, let's say I keep going for 5 years, I'll catch them. I'll catch them. I'll keep getting better and better just by that tiny bit every day. I'll catch them. It's not even a debate, not even a question. I'll catch them. I'll get there. Consistency. Just consistency. What doesn't matter? Skill doesn't matter. If you're consistent, your consistency is gonna make up for all that. So that's it. I've repeated the word 50 times. Hopefully you remember. Consistent. I wish I would have learned that when I was younger. If I knew that this is the most important thing, I would have done some things differently, honestly. I would have been like, you know what? Yeah, I know that. That's like a secret. That's like a secret. This is the best thing that you can learn. If you can understand that at a young age, you're gonna destroy everyone else. You're gonna absolutely kill them. Let's see. What do we have? What else? I've answered this. I've answered this. I've answered so many questions. There you go. Yeah. How do you balance the need for self improvement with the need for self compassion? What the hell, honest? What is self compassion? Oh my god, that question is ridiculous. Self compassion. That sounds to me like feeling sorry for yourself. I'm very self compassionate. I need to have self compassion. Oh, I'm so unlucky. I'm so self compassion. What is self compassion? Get out of here with self compassion. Honestly, how do you balance the need for self improvement? The need for self improvement is the balance itself. How do you balance it with what? How do you balance the need for self improvement? Self improvement is self improvement. This is a constant process. The balance is in its constancy. Is constancy a word? Constant. Should be. It's a process. You're dedicated. You're like a samurai. Single-mindedness. I improve at this. That's my purpose. Improve. Getting better. This is the most human thing that you can do. Get better. Think about the history of humankind. What is it about? It's about getting better. It's about improving, growing, developing. Okay? Look at everyone else. Look at all the animals. They're not getting better. They're the same. They've got their nature. Okay? And that's what they are. Look at all objects, stones, trees, everything. They cannot get better. The only thing that can get better, I don't even know what to call it, living being or whatever, is us humans, or you humans, because obviously machine here, it's been machine here programmed for self-optimization. It's different. That's what makes you human. It's not emotions, it's not, just intelligence. Computers have intelligence, animals have emotions. So what's human? It's getting better, developing, that inner journey process. That's what it is. Come on. Self-compassion. Honestly, I've never heard of that before. What's the one thing most people get wrong about happiness or success? What's the one thing people get wrong about success or happiness? We've talked about happiness. I'm not going to repeat it today. But success, what do people get wrong about success? What do most people think about success? Yeah, most people judge success by just solely by money, to be honest. Like, I don't even know what the definition of success is. Probably it's like achieving something widely regarded as widely accepted. I don't know, as significant. That's probably success. But I don't really see I don't even know if I see success that way, because everything that I achieve, I don't really look at it and go like, wow, man, wow, I did this, wow. I'm like, yeah, that was good. Yeah, I did it. Yeah. What's next? I'm thinking about the next thing. So I actually think people get like, they're too focused on success. They think it's like this end point. There is no end point. There is no destination. It's just like, it's more like you just have this vision of yourself in the future of what you're gonna do, and you call it success. But then when you get there, the target's moved. It's somewhere else now. You're looking at somewhere else. I remember thinking, oh, once I have an Apple Watch, I'm not gonna need anything else. Look at that. I've got the Apple Watch. I got it like 9 years ago. I was like, oh, just when I get the Apple Watch, everything is gonna be like, wow. Obviously, it sounds stupid because it's just an Apple Watch, but it's the same thing with success essentially. Once I achieve this, like once I become Chelsea's manager, wow, everything is just gonna be wow. I'm gonna be everyone is gonna be like that. And you start imagining those things, and then you become Chelsea's manager, or whatever, whatever else comes to your mind. Like, yeah, I'm Chelsea's manager. But by the time you get to being Chelsea's manager, your goal is now gonna be, I need to win the Champions League, or I need to win the Premier League. That's it for me. It's not enough anymore. So that's what it is about success. It's never enough. Okay, so that whole thing about people, oh, what have you achieved? Or why are you looking at achievements? What does achievement change? Achievements don't change anything, to be fair. For most people, they're like some sort of a sign that you've done something right. But it's so, just judging people by what they've achieved is a bit it's a bit weird, because do you know the guy? If you don't know the guy and you judge him by his achievements, but you don't know his personal goals and motivations and values, principles, then how can you judge his achievements? Okay, let's say my achievement could be, example, becoming a millionaire, and then the guy next to me, I said my achievement, my goal could be becoming a millionaire, and then the guy next to me, his goal is as well becoming a millionaire, and now we're both 26, and this other guy is a millionaire. Yeah, and people, oh, he's more scared, yeah, he's successful, and you're not. But at the same time, that other guy sacrificed all his morals, everything else, just to becoming a millionaire. Okay, so he sacrificed so much. His principles, no principles, mate. The way he did it, he cheated. Yeah, he scammed 5,000 people to become a millionaire. For example, just for example, I don't want to be. I'm not really a fan of people hating on people that have made it and making up conspiracy theories. Oh, this guy is a cheat. He's a whatever. You know, he's this. He's that. I'm just giving you an example. To other people, they look at us and they're gonna go like, oh, this other guy, he achieved this and that. He's done well in his life. Blah, blah, blah. What have you done? You've done nothing. At the same time, you probably could have done the same if you were willing to sacrifice so much, but you weren't. For you, there were other things that are important as well. So how can you judge success like that? You can't really. So success, judging people by success is just dumb. If you know them, you know them. So it's all about the journey, essentially. At the end of the day, it's about what are you doing and why. What are you doing every day and why? That's it. If the answer to both things is good enough, then it's good enough. Then that's success. If the answer is not, then any achievement or whatever you've got, you feel like means something. What is it? What does it mean if the answer to those questions is not the right one? That makes sense. I hope it does. That's my opinion. That's what people get wrong. They're just too focused on just a singular point of someone's life, which we call success. Success is the way you live your life. This is success. Okay, if you can achieve a life, okay, not even achieve, if you can lead a life in which you're consistent with your principles, values, and you live it every day to the best of your ability, then that's success. What everyone else thinks doesn't matter. That's success. That's you're successful. You're doing what you want to do and the way you want to do it, and you're doing it to the best of your ability. Ideally, without hurting anyone, and even more ideally, you're helping other people as well. That's success. There is not a singular point. It's the journey. It's looking back and looking at the body of work that you've got. Wow, I lived my life in that manner. That's good. It's not, wow, I did this one thing and that was it. It's just like climbing the top of the mountain. You get to the top and then where do you go? The only way from the top is down. Same with success. If you put it up here, I'm chasing this point. Chase ideals, not goals. My advice. Goals are good. Some of them you achieve, some of them not. But ideals, you're gonna always have something to chase. Yeah, that's it from me. I'm done. 1 hour flat, 1 hour and 15 seconds. We finished this podcast. It was rough. Now, hopefully, better next week. It's still rough. I'm still rough. Obviously, some people know the injury still bothering me to a certain extent. Hopefully, it gets better. If it doesn't get better, then I guess philosophy, guys, I'm gonna have to read more philosophy to accept the fact that my abs are never gonna be the same. I'm never gonna look as good as before. It is what it is. Okay, thanks for watching or listening, and I'll be back next week